Here we go. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Budget Committee meeting on April 21st, 2026. County Administrator Gary Schmidt, will you please call the roll for us?
Yes, thank you, Chair. And this is the Clackamas County Budget Committee, which includes the 5 county commissioners and 5 members of the public. Roll call. I'll start with commissioners. Commissioner West.
Here.
Commissioner Schrader.
Here.
Commissioner Helm.
Here.
Commissioner Savas.
Present.
Chair Roberts.
Here.
And the public members, and welcome to the new member of the Budget Committee, just appointed this morning, Mr. Jeff Caton. Welcome, Mr. Caton. Roll call. Mr. Rhodes.
Here.
Mr. Karn.
Here.
Mr. Cernak.
Here.
And Ms. Rader is on her way, and she's the final member of the committee. Back to you, Chair.
All right. Thank you, Gary. Would you introduce our first agenda item?
Yes, thank you, Chair, and I will walk through the agenda for you today, and staff will come up as appropriate. First item is approval of the Budget Committee meeting minutes from your last meeting on February 10, 2026. The minutes were included in your packet. Seeking a motion to approve, or if there are any edits to be made, would you please share those?
All right.
I'll note, I'm marked as absent. I did arrive about halfway through. I don't know if you want to update that or not.
Yes, we will do that. Thank you.
I'll second.
Okay. Well, that was just an edit, yes. Any other edits or changes to be made? And if not, would someone make a motion including the edit, please?
I move that we accept the edited minutes.
Second.
All right. Budget Committee member Rhodes has moved to approve the Budget Committee meeting minutes for February 10th, 2026. Commissioner West has seconded that motion. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Clerk, will you please call the poll?
Commissioner Savas.
Aye.
Commissioner Helm.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader.
Aye.
Mr. Caton.
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes.
Aye.
Mr. Karn.
Aye.
Mr. Cernak.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 9-0, Mr. Chair.
All right. Gary, what is next?
Thank you. Next is review and action on the compensation board for elected officials for fiscal year 2026, 2027. Presenting is Jennifer Justice, who is the chair of the compensation board for Clackamas County elected officials, and Nina Monroe Smith, who's a compensation and classification manager in our human resources department. So welcome both, and please go ahead.
Good afternoon, commissioners and budget committee members. My name is Nina Monroe Smith. As part of my current role as the county's classification and compensation manager, I am also the staff liaison to the compensation board. Also here presenting with me is Jennifer Justice, this year's compensation board chair. We are here today to present the compensation board for elected officials' recommendations for fiscal year 2026 and 27. This afternoon, we're going to provide you an overview of the board's role, the process followed this year, and the recommendations that resulted from that work. The compensation board is composed of community members who reside, work, and/or own property in Clackamas County. Per the ORS that guides them, they must have professional experience in human resources and compensation management. The compensation board members this year are Jennifer Justice, who completed her first year of her first term, and Amy Smith, who completed her 4-year term, her first term. The board was supported by staff support from Clackamas County Human Resources, Danielle Mache and Aaron Brayman, who collected data, did research and analysis to support the board. I would also like to recognize Evelyn Miner-Lawrence and Heather Pedersen, the Human Resources Director and Deputy Director, who provided support. The Compensation Board for Elected Officials process is required by Oregon Revised Statute 204.112. This statute outlines the annual process for county compensation boards and grants these boards the authority to review the compensation of elected officials and make recommendations to the county's budget committee. The ORS itself provides general guidelines and considerations for how the Compensation Board is to determine its recommendations. This includes a review of comparable positions within the labor market, and the ORS states it can be in the public or private sector, as well as internal alignment with individuals managed by those elected officials, and with other appointed employees serving in positions with similar roles. All of these factors were reviewed and considered by the Compensation Board. The ORS also details what factors could be considered, things like staff size, budget size, scope, responsibility. The ORS does not require or indicate as a factor consideration of how the position is funded. As a result, the Compensation Board does not steer their recommendations based on budget, nor do they base these decisions on the person in the position, but the actual positions themselves. The statute also provides specific direction regarding the sheriff's position, stating that the sheriff's salary shall be fixed at an amount not less than any member of the sheriff's department. It is then the Compensation Board's responsibility to submit its recommendations to the county's Budget Committee for review and approval. That is why we are here today.
All right, so this is the year that we did the match analysis and considered all of our comparable jurisdictions. We consider things like budget and staff sizes, the responsibilities of the position, the elected position requirements, and other specifics related to each elected role. The labor market that we use includes the following jurisdictions: Clark, Deschutes, Lane, Marion, Multnomah, and Washington counties. We also added Benton County this year, the cities of Portland and Vancouver, and Oregon Metro. Comparable roles within these jurisdictions were used to assess pay alignment. We also took the opportunity this year to look at other jurisdictions outside of what we typically review, and because of this, we found comparability with Benton County for one of our elected positions. So after we have the comparables, we look at the compensation for those positions to determine the average market rate and base the recommendations off of that. This is important to ensure that the compensation paid to Clackamas County elected officials is able to attract and retain people with the expertise and skills to manage the areas that they're leading. Internal alignment was reviewed to see if a further adjustment would be warranted. Factors considered include the compression with employees in the department the electeds lead, as well as comparability with other elected positions that may perform similar work. For example, there's some crossover between the assessor and clerk positions. Therefore, the Compensation Board felt that it was important to maintain parity between these two. This was also found in our market comparables. So based on these considerations, this is how we made the recommendations for each position. So the methodology that we applied is, first, we recommended an adjustment where the elected official's adjusted base pay rate is below the market average by more than 2.5%. Next, we recommended an equivalent cost of living adjustment that has been approved for non-represented county employees. So the budgeted COLA for this year is 2.7%, and these recommendations were across the board for all elected positions. And lastly, we recommended an adjustment in consideration of internal alignment, including where an elected official's salary is less than 5% above the highest paid employee in the department they lead.
All right, in terms of the recommendations, as outlined in the full report that you received from the Compensation Board, based on the Compensation Board's recommendation methodology, the recommendations include, you'll see the list, but there's recommendations related to market. So recommendations were made if an elected official's position was greater than 2.5% below market average. The Compensation Board also decided this year to provide two options. So you will see that detailed as option A and option B. And these are specific to those market adjustments. Option A brings that position to that market average. It brings it to that. Option B brings the recommendation to 2.5% below the market if they were below. And that is why, again, you see option A, which brings them to market, and option B, which brings them 2.5% below market. There was also a recommendation this year for an increase to the chair's add to pay. And this is a recommendation to change it from 2 to 3%. The add to pay has been at 2% since implemented in 2013. In consideration of the additional responsibilities with the board chair position, the Compensation Board again recommends the increase, which is consistent with the recommendations they've made in the last 2 years for that chair position. You will also see across the board, as Jennifer mentioned, the recommendation of a 2.7% COLA, which again is equivalent to what is budgeted for the non-represented employees. There is also one recommendation of an adjustment where there is less than a 5% difference between an elected and their second in command. In the written report, you will see that the Compensation Board this year decided to change that amount. Where in previous years it was 10% threshold for that compression, they've now revised that to 5%. Compression is the reason for the additional 0.5% increase recommendation for the sheriff. And from there, we will open it up to questions.
Right, thank you. I think as we kind of look at this, I'm just throwing this out for discussion, perhaps look at first considering the cost of living adjustment. And if there's a consensus on that, then maybe we move to the next. Just trying to get an idea of what folks think about that. Commissioner West.
There's a couple really large numbers on here, real large. I think a lot of us know we get into this in public service. We're not here for the paycheck, Lord knows, for the hours that some of us work. It's not, but fair compensation is appropriate. I look at it would be helpful, just not on these increases, to also see the number of the current annual salary is on the screen to bring that additional. I don't know if we have a slide that does that with these positions and what the current and what the adjustment would bring that annual salary to as like a total. I'm sure it's in the
Yes, we
packet.
do. It's coming right. There it is.
Perfect. Put my readers on. Can you, just for people watching at home and for speed, can you quickly, so option A would bring, I'm just looking at Brunson, Rueda, sorry, you're just the first one due to the alphabet. I think assessors first. So just so we make sure we're looking at the chart correctly, and then I will get to my question. Option A would bring it this is the current, is that what is
Correct.
173, 120 for the assessor? And then this number, these totals here are with the recommendation depending on option A or B.
Correct.
Am I right? This is also kind of an a la carte option. We can say yes to some and no to others. Yeah. When I look at, can I go to the sheriff? Was she on there? Where is she?
Scroll down, Andrew, please.
Go scroll down to the sheriff. Currently, one of the highest paid employees in the entire county at almost just a hair under 250,000. And it looks like your recommendation would bring her to just almost 258. Is that right?
Correct, including deferred compensation.
Including her deferred compensation, right? I'm trying to just think about like the people that serve in the sheriff's office that are in those management positions. To me, a captain. There's very few undersheriffs. That's kind of unique. It's almost like a political appointed type position, an undersheriff, but captains are very much I think the leaders of the sheriff's office in many instances, and they run full departments. And there's, they to me would also most likely have a resume to be a sheriff one day too, if they choose to run. The average salary for, I think for a captain ranges between, I could be wrong, between like 100 and 152. And that's such a large difference between like where the sheriff already is. So I'm looking at like some of her leadership and where they're at within their salary range, and then like what this ask is. So I'm having a hard time getting to increasing this salary further, even though this individual makes far more than much of their actual executive staff, and this the sheriff also already makes some of the highest salaries in the entire county.
So that recommendation is based on the undersheriffs because they report directly to the sheriff. And so the compensation board uses that methodology to look at the highest paid person reporting directly to that position and makes a recommendation changing it from 10% last year to 5%.
Why don't we look at captains? Captains can be chiefs of like Happy Valley, Wilsonville, Estate, like, right? So like they have these large leadership roles, run full teams, in executive type positions at the captain. Captain Evie started to point, he ran the jails, the entire Clackamas County jail. They really do run an executive like level, but there's such a difference between that executive level and the other, the top end heavy part. I don't understand how that doesn't play into how we look at these salaries.
So the sheriff's office is, or the sheriff's position is the only one where there's a statute that defines the compensation. And all that it says is that the sheriff's salary shall be fixed at an amount not less than that of any member of the sheriff's department.
Okay.
So that's different from the 5% that the compensation board is recommending. But there is a statutory requirement there that we would have to
That's why you look at the
maintain.
undersheriff is because of the statutory
Correct,
requirement and
yes,
not, it's
yeah.
not necessarily applicable to like a captain level.
Correct.
Thank you. That's good information. Okay, that's all my questions.
Right. Gary, go ahead.
Of course, thank you, Chair. I always have an opinion I'd like to share for your consideration, and I thank Jennifer and the committee for their incredible work they do every year, and I really respect that. I would suggest to you that you do this in sections, because there's a lot of moving pieces here. So instead of a one motion to approve it all, do it in sections is my advice. I would say the cost of living, you should all electeds get what every other county employee gets, which will be 2.7% for the upcoming fiscal year. Beyond that, it's up to you. There's an option A, there's an option B. My recommendation is that the clerk and the justice of the peace are way below market. And as Jennifer said, it'll be hard, those functions of those two offices are critical components of the county service delivery. And it's important that those people feel they're compensated enough to do the job effectively. Yes, they're elected officials, but we want quality people to run for these offices and serve in those positions. I encourage you to consider that, please. But beyond that, I think that's probably all I'd recommend. So I would say dispense with the COLA first, and then my advice is go through one at a time. Either you'll make a motion or you won't. Thank you.
All right, so I would ask if there's interest in making a motion on that COLA.
Anyone can make that, including public members, even just to discuss it, for discussion purposes.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the COLA amounts for the elected officials.
And is there a second?
I'll second that.
All right, Commissioner Caton has moved to approve the recommended 2.7 cost of living adjustment increase for all positions. Commissioner Carn has seconded that. Any further discussion?
Kenny passes.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, Mr. Cernak.
It just went up, so no worries.
Mr. Cernak, go ahead.
I was just wanting to put out that I know we've had budget constraints the last several years, and so I do want to at least consider the possibility of a reduced or no COLA this year for elected officials. I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are on that, but I feel like these are the leaders of the county, and so if the whole county as a whole is feeling pressured, that we should have a conversation about asking them to kind of lead from the front on that. So I just was hoping maybe some people would have thoughts on that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Commissioner Helm.
I would agree with Mr. Cernak. We keep talking about the fiscal cliff. We keep talking about tightening our belts. We keep talking about lack of funds, lack of revenue. And if there was ever a time to show the people that we really mean what we say, to me, this is just me, I think we are paid handsomely. And when I had a business, I was the lowest paid employee on the roster. So when you add in how many hours you work, like you mentioned Commissioner West, you lead by example. And I can't get on board with the 2.7. I don't know if there's a number in there that I can get on board with, but I'm really reluctant, and I think our citizens look to us to make wise budgeting decisions. So I may be the only no, but that's okay.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner West.
I'm totally in agreement. I also want to bring some perspective that the Board of County Commissioners and the administrative offices have already made very drastic cuts and are doing a lot and a lot less than our neighboring counties and counterparts. We share staff. We don't have 5 designated staff. Where Multnomah County, Washington County, the staff and the support to the county commissioners is far more than what we have in Clackamas County. Look at the city of Portland, a comparable position maybe is a city councilor. They used to get like 5 staff at district office, new 6-figure salaries, times 12, right? So we haven't done that in Clackamas County. We have found ways to continue to do the work with a lot less. With that said, though, I am absolutely advocating for not giving me a 2.7% raise increase or COLA this year. I'm completely fine with that because it's the public's money, and I think that I am support the notion that shared sacrifice, and I'm willing to be a team player in any capacity that I can to make sure that we have a vibrant and financially stable, or even to make the gesture and financially stable county moving forward, that we're respecting public dollars, we're good stewards of public dollars. I myself am completely open and would advocate to not give me a 2.7% raise. I don't know if most of my voters got a 2.7% raise this year, and it's their money that's giving me the raise. They're the boss, and so I don't know if they're comfortable with me just automatically getting a 2.7% raise. I don't know if I'm always working hard. I'm always working more than 40 hours a week, but I don't know if I worked any harder than last time that made it extra special to give me that 2.7. So I'd advocate to not get it. And that's just for me. I'll speak for myself. I don't feel comfortable always speaking for everyone else's salaries, but that's where I sit today. But with that said, we do this and continue to do more with less in the administrator's office because this is our value system. We don't need to necessarily champion that, and we don't necessarily have the most robust staff support and all these other bells and whistles that other entities like ours have. But it's our value system, and so that's where I will fall on this issue. I will not be supporting a raise for me as a county commissioner to get an additional 2.7%.
Right. Commissioner Savas, I'm sorry.
I'm done. Thank you.
Commissioner Savas.
Well, for those of you who know me for a while, this has always been a challenge for me, and I've been pretty consistent in my position on this, which is similar to my previous colleagues' comments. I do want to, first of all, thank the Compensation Board for your work, and this is always an awkward position for all of us, and staff, knowing that you're doing what you do and everything you've done is right. I don't question your calculations. It's something I noticed when I got into the private sector way back in 2000, the year 2000, on an elected board, the Water Board, and I realized that as the districts were doing their comparisons, they were trying to outdo one another, and the wages just went up and up and up and up. And granted, costs are going up, and I think that's what COLAs are all about. This is not about, we're not talking about anything other than COLA right now. But the other thing I also found too is that I'm in this position, I think sometimes people run for this position for the money versus other than maybe some of the principles of the work and so forth. So I always think that, geez, if we were to, and I'm not suggesting we were to cut our pay in half, but if there was a substantial reduction in our pay, would there be, less people? And other people, the other side of the argument is, well, geez, if you don't if there's not enough pay, you're not going to get good people to run for office. So you have those competing arguments, and Commissioner Schrader and I she's been here the whole time when this has come up.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, so I've always been, early on, I jumped in and I try to make a convincing argument to not do this, but I've kind of laid back a little bit. But I am going to do what I always do every year, and that's speak up, speak to the situation, and again, knowing that, we got this thing on our dais. I don't know if our Budget Committee members saw that, but according to this, we're 4.9 million negative right now, and in the packet today, there's no forecast. So I'm reluctant, really, to know how this is resolved and how it sounds like the 30-year forecast is showing a lot more years in the red. I just can't justify doing anything to increase our costs. So I'll be a no. I mean, I respect anyone else's opinion on that. That's fine. And I don't want to put any of my other colleagues, other appointed members of this Budget Committee in an awkward position either. So I apologize.
All right.
Mr. Caton has his hand raised.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Would I be able to make an adjusted suggestion then? Or are we still going to have the vote on the current proposal versus me being allowed to
Well,
make
I
a
think
change on it?
at least giving it a chance to make sure everybody's had a chance to input on this. And then at this point, I have a motion, a second, so it needs to go to a vote.
You can go to a vote, but because you're the main motioner, you could amend your own motion if you choose to do that.
I was going to amend to say, vote to approve the COLO for the elects other than the county commissioners at this time. Would that be a possible vote?
You can do that, so,
For the assessor, the clerk, district attorney, justice, peace, sheriff, and treasurer, to vote for the COLO for those elects and not for the commissioners at this time.
Okay, and whoever made the second, do you agree with that amendment?
Yes.
Karn, okay. So that is allowable, Chair. So the motion's been amended to allow the COLA of 2.7% only for the other elected officials, not the Board of Commissioners, the other 6 electeds.
Commissioner West.
What is that dollar figure? If it was just the county commissioners and not other electeds not taking a COLA?
I do not have that readily available, but we can get that.
We'll get that ASAP. We only had it for all of you, but
It's about $16,000 roughly.
Right, that's right. Isn't it like 6 or something
Because
for each of it?
the COLA cost is $3,841 per year per commissioner, so times that,
Oh, it's about
times 5.
4,000 a commissioner,
Am I
okay.
looking at the right line?
Actually.
This is really small print.
Yeah.
So it's the
Look at the
column
column on
that
the
says
right.
estimated fiscal impact, second from the end, the last column. And you can see at the bottom line of each section, COLA only.
Yeah.
So a quick math is approximately $18,000 of the 6 electeds only.
4 times 5. Yes, that's right, 4 times 5.
18,000 for the commissioners?
No, excluding the commissioners, approximately $18,000 for the other 6 elected officials.
I'd also invite any other elected that wants to join the commission to not take their COLA if they want to do that. I don't know how they do that, but maybe there are other electeds that feel like that they want to do this for our taxpayers also. No pressure, but there's an opportunity for that also.
All right. So we have a motion on the floor, a second. Any other discussion? Right. Seeing none, Gary, you prepared to do a call for a vote? on
Andrew is
this?
ready, yes.
Yes, go ahead, Andrew.
Commissioner Savis.
Aye.
Commissioner Helm.
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Mr. Cernak.
No.
Mr. Rhodes.
Aye.
Mr. Karn.
Aye.
Mr. Caton.
Aye.
Motion, Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-1, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Before we move ahead, Commissioner Helm.
Yeah, I apologize. Can I back up just a second? back to the minutes. I just saw this, and I just questioned this number on page 6 of the minutes. Item number 5, review of the general fund. Sandra Matoya notes that the forecast does not include payments that were approved in meetings from this morning, of specifically an approval of $700,000 of Malala Pilot. And I believe that was a $7,000 payment, not $700,000.
That is correct. It was $7,000.
Right. Thank you.
Great
If you could make
catch.
that- Thank you. If you could make that correction, that would be great. Sorry, I didn't catch it earlier.
So without objection, may we make that edit and still retain the approval of the committee from the prior motion? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Anyone object to that? Okay, we'll just make the edit. You don't need another motion for that.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, so next, it looks like, Gary, and again, I'm looking at, we have a discussion of, I think we're just staying on the focus on the COLA for the other elected officials. I think start with that.
Well, I guess the question is, you can now do a COLA for the Board of Commissioners only, but I'm not sure you'd have the votes or not, but you can. Or just bypass that and move on. I would suggest one at a time, each of the electeds, and say if you approve option A, option B, or none.
The vote we just took, though, was to not have the Board of County Commissioners take a COLA.
That is correct. It was excluded. It didn't say you remove the board from the COLA approval. That doesn't mean you can't make another motion just for the board, although I've heard enough of you say you're concerned about that. But you did remove the board from the prior motion. That could be seen as the direction. You don't want to address it, but that is an option. If someone wants to make a motion for the board only, you could take less than a 2.7% COLA. If you wanted a 2%, or just drop it and move on.
I have.
Oh, Commissioner Helm.
No, that's.
Oh, sorry, that's your old one. I don't see any.
I would suggest moving on then.
Well, are we going to go, wait, are we going to go one by one with each one of these financial impacts of every single
Well,
position?
the question was, and this is a question on the table for everybody, is do we just do the COLA for all of the other elected officials, yes or no? Or do we go individually? So consistently, if you look at them, they're all recommended at 2.7. So
But why,
So we just did that, Chair. So the motion approves a 2.7% COLA for the 6 elected officials who are not the board. So the other 6,
Okay, I'm
you just
sorry.
approved that. So the next question is, do you approve option A or option B?
Okay.
For 4 of the other elected officials who are recommended to have salary changes? You can do them as one group, you could do them one at a time, or you could take no action and we're done.
that's a discussion. Ben?
so currently, everyone's getting a COLA but the Board of County Commissioners, right?
That is correct.
Okay. And I would like to go through these one by one and make an independent decision on each one of these other impacts to the budget. I don't know if I'm alone on that, but I think that's the best way to do it, is to look at them individually on that line item and then make a call as a
That's an
body.
option, yes.
So do I have to make a motion? I don't know if we have to get consensus on that's what we're going to do, or?
I think that's probably the best way to do
Okay.
it.
It's hard for me to at least on the COLA, I don't know how this process works, but there's no other elected official is here to speak to their own COLA, so I think we made the right call. I mean, but on these other items, A or B, then I think that we should go one by one.
Okay.
All right, so let's start with the county assessor.
All right, so the assessor, option A is for a 4.7% increase to the current salary. Option B is only a 2.2% increase to the current salary. So your options are approve option A, approve option B, or make no change.
How can those numbers be the same?
Can we put it back up on the, this is so small. Thank you.
So the numbers are different, Commissioner.
Oh, they are a little bit?
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, they're different, yeah, okay.
So in this case, look at column 2, because you did approve a COLA for the 6 other electeds. So this shows in the case of the assessor, sorry, no offense, not picking on, the assessor currently earns $173,120 a year in the first column. column 3 with the 2.7% COLA. Option A, the total salary would be $186,151. Option B would be $181,706. And Jennifer has explained the reasons why they are recommending an increase for that
This is
position.
a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
I would move to not make a market adjustment for the assessor this year.
I'll second.
All right, so if I understand this correctly, Mr. Cernak has made a motion to accept, or
No, to make no adjustment.
no adjustments,
to the
okay, not
assessor.
even the B option, okay. Make no adjustment, and Commissioner West has seconded that. Any further discussion?
I'll just, no, oh,
No, quick question. So this is a vote to not make a market adjustment. The COLA stays in place, but just no
Yes.
market
Right.
adjustment.
Yes.
Correct, yes.
That
Trying to
clarifies that.
understand it.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yeah.
I would just know, I'm kind of leaning on Gary's adjustment to only make adjustments for the two with large discrepancies. That's kind of where my thought's coming from, but
I'd agree, yeah.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
It's super weird to hear the word market when it's taxpayer dollars. They didn't create any wealth here. They didn't grow an economy here. Like, it's not a market. They're just like competing with other elected peers that feed on taxpayer dollars. It's just such a weird word to call it a market. I don't know. It's not what I learned about the economy when I went to school. But we're here to do public service. We're in the times that we're in. I will be supporting no market increases, period. So that's where I'm coming from. But that has been a stable, consistent salary, and the current assessor has been in that role for a while, and I'm sure has adjusted to the salary in which the taxpayers generously give him, like we all have. So that's where my vote will be coming from.
All right, Commissioner Hill.
So I think I'm agreeing with Mr. Cernak. There's two disparities, right? The clerk and the assessor? Who's the other one?
the clerk and the justice.
The justice of the peace.
Or
Oh,
the,
okay. Right.
well, I mean, I think the treasurer actually has a larger variance listed here, but justice of the peace was mentioned earlier. I don't know if that was a miss.
No, I did mean the justice of the peace.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it was the justice of the
Yeah,
peace.
and the clerk, yeah.
And the clerk, which there are big disparities between what is considered market or their peers in other counties. I would say we would address those.
But who sets this? Like the everyday working person that has to sit here and pretend like elected officials telling other elected officials how much money they should be making is, do you know what I'm saying? Like I bet you walked out right there on Main Street, they would be like, what the hell are you talking about? Right? So I just know exactly how these people feel right now, and I'm hearing it every single day at the doors. We're doing really well compared to most of our constituents in the metro area and our region. And I just think we just don't have the ability to do big market changes when a lot of people, the markets kind of put them in a crunch.
Gary.
Yes, thank you. So market study is a HR term, human resources term, and compensation. That is what it's called when you study the comparable salaries of other people in similar positions. So it's an HR term that they're using, a market study, a market adjustment. So it's totally human
I understand
resources
that.
related to reviewing positions. So that's where that term comes from. Thank you.
Right, and if I could just comment on, I think Mr. Rhodes, Mr. Karn can probably both attest that making sure that your market value pay for the employees, and I'm talking about generally across the county, is in a market that attracts people, right? And a lot of times they come to Clackamas Fire or the sheriff's office or the county because of those pay and benefits. So I totally understand my colleagues about the cost here and that this is a difficult time. I just also believe that it is important to kind of be somewhere in the market. And I would also kind of say too, it's just food for thought, is sometimes it can be kicking the can down the road a little bit as well. At some point in time, you want to get to market value. The market assessment. And so I'm fine at passing this, but I think that's also a consideration that it kind of accumulates. And I can tell you that they passed many years as when I was sheriff, and it went up after I was gone, so, but at some point, you do have to kind of get to that market value to ensure across the board. So, so I think right now, we're at a point where Mr. Cernak, I just want to revisit where we're at, right, has made a motion that on the assessor, there is no market increase. It's been seconded by Commissioner West. We've had discussion. And now he has another discussion.
Just for food for thought, everybody on this list makes significantly more than every statewide elected, including the governor. So what are we talking about markets here, about government work? You have part-time electeds at the Portland City Council making more than we do on this dais, and most of us work full-time plus. We literally have 15 candidates that choose to be county commissioners right now on the ballot. And one of them publicly said in an actual chamber forum a couple weeks ago that he was shocked and excited and wanted to run because of how much money the county commissioners make. That was one of Diana's opponents. You're laughing because it's true. It is true. I am not making it up. It's on the record. Look it up yourselves. But I'm just saying, like, this isn't a market. This is all arbitrary. Nobody is like looking at someone's job skills and sets and saying like, you deserve this much and you're doing this on your own merit. It's hard to win elections, but once again, we're spending other people's monies, and everyone here makes more money than the actual governor, who's the executor of the state of Oregon. So that's why I'm pushing back on this market term. I know it's an HR term. I know it's legitimate, but I think perspective matters here when we are talking about these salaries.
All right. I think we're ready to call for a poll.
Could we repeat the motion, please?
Yeah, so again, Mr. Cernak has made a motion that there is no market increase, and we are talking about the county assessor only, and it's been seconded by Commissioner West. Correct?
Correct.
All right. Are you good with that, Paul?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Sir?
Mr. Caton,
Aye.
Mr. Karn,
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes,
Aye.
Mr. Cernak,
Aye.
Commissioner Savas,
Aye.
Commissioner Helm,
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 9-0, Mr. Chair.
Okay, next up is the county clerk, and I've heard some thoughts and conversations about her compensation. So does anybody want to make a motion on just the county clerk?
Chair, I would move that we do option B for Clerk McMullen. I will say, she is doing a great job, and she shows up all throughout the community. And I think there's such a disparity between her and her colleagues, other elected colleagues, that I think we need to right-size that number. But I'm okay with option B.
All right. Is there a second?
So much better, thank you.
Thank you. I'll second that.
All right.
Thank you.
So to repeat that motion, Commissioner Helm has moved to approve county clerk's option A.
B.
Or I'm sorry, option B increase. And Commissioner Schrader has seconded that. Any further discussion?
Chair.
Yes, Commissioner West.
Option A is 26.5%, option B is 24%. It's expensive either way. I can't disagree with the kind words that my colleague Commissioner Helm just spoke to. I have no issue with that. But That's a significant number. And so for that reason alone, because there's not really that big of a difference between A or B, and because of the size of it, I will not be supporting the motion.
All right, any other? Go ahead, Commissioner
Yeah,
Savas.
I'm going to throw something out here, being we're going to have three more of these to go, and that suggestion might be, what if we try to target, for example, the assessor, we did not recognize a 4.7 or a 2.2. So if we use the market number of 4.7 for option A and applied that and subtracted that from 26.5, as an example, then it would bring it down to 20, it'd be down to 23 point.
21.8, I think.
Yeah. And so basically what I'm trying to say, if we kept the market about 4.75% on each of the four vacancies, if that's our, not vacancies, but classifications, it might be, give us some rule of thumb to have some consistency. Just saying.
Gary?
In theory, respectfully, in theory, that works, and it would not in this case because the clerk is so far behind market. She would still be behind market if you stuck to a flat rate for all the electeds. This is trying to get everyone at parity, both with what others are paid in that same position in other counties and also internally. So,
well, that's not what I meant. I'm sorry, I didn't explain it right, so I'll take responsibility for not explaining it right. My goal is that whatever that number is, to get everyone at 5% below market.
Oh, my apologies.
For those four positions.
Got it.
Oh, just 5% below market?
Just 5%. So, again, I could do the math here. 4.7 minus 26.5 would be 22.7?
21.8, I think.
Oh,
21.8, I believe.
okay.
Yeah, I guess where I'm at on it is, I feel like, and I'm sorry, Jamie, I'll call you just 1 second, this is what I took as the chair, is I felt like people wanted to give input on each one. And if we did that, that would just kind of be as one lump. And so I'm kind of leaning towards, unfortunately, it's probably taken a little longer to go through it like that. But I think that might give folks the opportunity to make any comment that they want. Jamie, you had a comment?
Yeah, a question for the compensation board. So when we talk about, behind market, I'm looking for some historical clarity based on, has this been something that transpired over the last 5 years, or has it been under market for the last 30? I don't know if you have that info or any background.
Yes, it's a couple of things going on. Sorry, I'm trying to speak in the mic, but also
that's
look at
okay.
you. But one is that there have been some recommendations made in the last few years that were not approved, and therefore it does fall below market, which was referred to earlier over time. In addition, since this was a match analysis year, the compensation board does a deeper dive. And so in that case, found a new match in Benton County, the very similar work being performed. And so that is also playing into that. So the clarified comparable jurisdictions to look at, as well as kind of the catch-up.
Okay, so kind of a compounding issue over non-approval over a period of time. For the most part, has led us to the, if you would, 24% figure.
Yeah, a combination of that and then the clarified kind of jurisdictions that were determined this year and the addition of Benton County.
Okay, thank you.
Because it was a very limited market before.
Thank you.
All right, so I have a motion on the floor and a second. So regarding her increase.
Yes, which is listed as, on the chart, a 24% increase, column 3. Commissioner Savas has made a counter suggestion, so the main motioner needs to either amend the motion, or I guess you could amend the motion,
No,
Commissioner.
just a suggestion. I didn't ask for a motion to be amended. I just
Okay.
made a suggestion to get us through the
Got
four
it.
and have some baseline so that we are keeping them on best of par as possible.
Got it.
So I just want to put that out there. That's all I
Okay.
did.
Got it.
So I think we're ready for Andrew to call poll.
Mr. Cernak,
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes,
Aye.
Mr. Karn,
Aye.
Mr. Caden,
Aye.
Commissioner Savas,
Aye.
Commissioner Helm, Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
No.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-1, Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. So we're going to, correct me, jump down to district attorney, correct?
If you still want to go through each one, there's a suggestion for the chair of the board, which would be next. Commission chair.
Oh,
And so if I may, that would be so currently the chair of the Board of Commissioners receives an additional 2% pay over the other county commissioners because of the extra duties the chair is responsible for, chairing meetings and setting meeting agendas. The Compensation Board is recommending an additional 1%, so it's a total of 3% higher pay than the rest of the county commissioners. So you could either we could discuss it or just move on. Up to you.
I move that we adopt the 1% increase for the chair of county commissioners from 2% to 3%.
Craig, is that okay with you? Are you
We
comfortable
can
with that?
also have a second for discussion.
you had your light on, sir.
I had a question unrelated, related but not
Oh, okay.
related to this.
I'll second for discussion so we can
Yep.
get past that part.
Yeah.
All right, so Commissioner West has made a motion for the chair for 1% increase, correct? And Commissioner Cernak has seconded that discussion. Mr. Cernak, you had?
Oh, it looked like people wanted to talk and we were
Okay.
waiting. so
Yeah, my question was asking if you're comfortable with that.
Not really.
Well, then, I just voice it because, I want to know where you feel about it. I don't want to put you in an awkward position.
Right. Well, I feel along the same lines as my colleagues here. I think this is just a difficult time, and I really think the majority of the board up here, if not all of us, kind of got into this for, not for the pay, I will say. It's for the cause. So I'm fine with just bypassing this. So it's an awkward position to be in anyway. It's just like,
This is always awkward.
yeah, so, so I guess go ahead.
Yeah, so my question related to this is a technical question, and recently it came to our attention about, at least with CCSO, the term add to pay, right? And I see it's being used here for this position as well. Is it identical, or is there in the CCSO contract, is there a different definition or formula or calculation? Not the numeric amount, but does it mean something slightly different?
It means something slightly different here than, say, an incentive because you have DPSST certifications, things like this. This is, we look at the comparables for commissioners as a whole, and then in 2013, the comp board decided, due to the additional responsibilities, we would assign a flat percentage on top of that. So a little bit different.
Okay.
And it is a term that in HR we use generally, the add to pay. And it can mean a little bit different, but it's a flat percentage on top of the base pay.
Okay, so the difficulty with the CCSO example you use is really figuring out which of those employees or deputies or whoever they are, right, how that calculation is, it's going to be unique for each of them, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, much more complicated. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. I just need to get educated there.
All right, thank you. Commissioner West.
It just seems very reasonable to me that the chair, who by statute, not always by function of the elected, does have more responsibilities, and they are the chair for the entire county of one of the larger counties in the entire state, just to have, to my opinion, 3 to 5% more in salary for that role. That makes sense, and it's pretty minimal. Right, it's really minimal, but I think that is an appropriate structure if we're looking at the structure of this, with also just really minimal cost to right-size that way. And now knowing the role, almost finishing my first term of the chair versus what we all work really hard. So I'm not even like, I don't want to say one works harder than the other because we're all workhorses, but that just makes sense to me. So I'm fine with the 1%. Craig, I think you've earned it.
Well,
right, this is
Diana
awkward.
Helm earned it too in
Yeah.
DC, we know.
So that's why I'm going to support it, but it seems like a reasonable margin for a chair. It seems to be an appropriate structure.
All right. Yes, sir. Mr.
A
Cernak.
process question. As I recall, we need 6 votes to pass anything, no matter how many are in attendance. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Commissioner Sal.
Yeah, I have a question for the compensation people here today. Number one, when you did the comparison for the chair, right? I mean, there are some counties in which the chair is more of an executive position and a decision-making position. Did you calculate that into this, or?
Yes, so Washington County, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Washington County has the most similar structure to Clackamas County. They have a 10% difference between the chair and the elected commissioners. So that is really the only county that has a similar structure to Clackamas County.
Okay.
Because one was a strong chair, right?
Correct, it's a different structure.
Totally
Yeah,
structure.
absolutely.
Yeah, so being the structure is the same, but they chose to go beyond, I won't say the limits, so to speak, but that outlier is affecting this, which gets to that spiraling example I talked about earlier. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Any other comments? I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. So there's a motion and a second to have discussion.
Chair Roberts.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
So just to clarify, he would still have the 2%.
Correct. This would
This
move
is
it
for
from
the
2 to 3.
additional one, correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Making that a total of 3.
Yeah.
It was 3.
Hey, look at us mathing.
Yeah.
I think we're ready, unless there's a comment. I want to make sure everybody's got a chance. Gary, anything else before we go on?
Nope.
Okay, I'm trying here. Go ahead.
Mr. Caton.
1%.
Mr. Caton.
Aye.
Mr. Karn.
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes.
Aye.
Mr. Cernak.
Nay.
Commissioner Savas.
I don't know if I should honor Craig's wish or what to do here. So I don't
You're
know
going
how
to get it
it's
whether you
gonna
like it
go.
or not, Craig.
So I'll join Mr. Cernak in honoring the chair's wish.
And we had a discussion about this in
Nay.
DC. I'm a nay also.
Commissioner Helm.
Nay.
Commissioner Schrader.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Oh, I abstain from this.
That's smart. Smart.
It fails. Fails.
Motion fails with only 5 affirmative votes, Mr. Chair.
All right. That was quite a discussion, everybody. Next, District Attorney.
So next, the district attorney has no change other than the COLA, which you've already approved. So following next is the Justice of the Peace. Again, an option A and an option B. You're in column 3. If you approve it, please.
All right, Justice of the Peace. Is there a motion for our Justice of the Peace?
Well, there's not much difference there.
Not really, yeah.
No.
It's an attorney, right?
I'm gonna make a motion to approve option B for the Justice of the Peace.
I'll second
Second.
that.
Oh.
Okay, I think it, Commissioner Savas has made a motion for Justice of the Peace, having a 2.9% based on market increase, seconded by Commissioner West. And is there any other further discussion? All right. Seeing none, I'm back to you, Andrew.
Mr. Cernak. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Mr. Cernak.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, sorry. No.
Mr. Rhodes.
Aye.
Mr. Karn.
Aye.
Mr. Caden.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Helm.
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader.
Aye.
Commissioner Savas.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-1, Mr. Chair.
All right. Next, the county sheriff.
And this is simply the 0.5% increase because of compression between the sheriff and the highest paid employee in that office, which would be the undersheriff.
So,
I move we do not give a 0.5% increase to the sheriff again.
I'll second
And
that.
Is there a second?
James Rhodes, second.
Mr. Rhodes was a second.
Sorry. Mr. Rhodes, you have yours up? Did you say
I was
Rhodes?
just saying
He
Seconded the motion.
Oh, he seconded. I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. All right, it's been seconded and by Mr. Rhodes. And further discussion?
So my understanding is that irregardless of our vote, it shall be 0.5% more regardless, right?
No.
No, you're
No.
making a motion for no increase, so no to the 0.5% increase.
My point is, isn't it required to
statute.
have a delta or not?
Jennifer, go ahead.
So not approving the 0.5% increase would not present any issues under the statutory requirements.
Okay, that's what I need to hear. Thank you.
okay.
Question. Any other?
Mr. Rhodes has his card raised, Chair.
That is Rhodes. Mr. Rhodes, go ahead.
Thank you. Just for clarification, the statute requires that the sheriff be paid more than any of its employees.
Correct.
Not 10% more, not 5% more, just more.
More.
Like a
Correct.
dollar more.
Right, could be $1 more.
Okay.
More, just
And
more.
so not increasing it, the proposed 0.5% would put it in the 5% range above the undersheriff. Not doing this, the sheriff will still be paid more than the undersheriff, just less than 5% more.
Yes.
Well within the statutory requirement.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Any other comments?
Andrew.
Commissioner West.
Do you know the average salary of an undersheriff?
I just need a moment.
Yeah, no problem. I'm guessing she makes $25,000 more a year right now than her undersheriffs, who also are paid very handsomely by
I
the
mean, we
taxpayers.
could probably back into an approximate if 0.5% gets her to the 5% mark.
Yeah, you do it that way too. Yeah.
It looks to be about 2,000 more on the base
2,000?
pay. Yeah.
I thought they don't, okay, I thought they made like 220 or something, but okay, I could be wrong. But they,
A month.
a month, okay, so we're both right. We're both get to
That
be right,
matters,
okay.
yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I think we're ready for a poll.
Mr. Cernak.
Just to clarify before I answer, a yes vote means no adjustment, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you for the clarification.
Mr. Karn.
Yes.
Mr. Rhodes.
Aye.
Mr. Caden.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader.
Aye.
Commissioner Helm.
Aye.
Commissioner Savas.
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 9-0, Mr. Chair.
All right, finally is the treasurer. The recommendation is both an option A and an option B to increase the treasurer's salary.
All right. Anyone willing to make a motion?
I move that we do not increase the treasurer's salary either option A or B.
To clarify, are you moving for no adjustment?
No
Or
adjustment.
just that we don't, okay.
Yep,
COLA only, yeah.
COLA only.
I'll second.
Okay, Commissioner West has made a motion to not increase the salary, either A or B, which means no adjustment outside the COLA. Mr. Cernak has seconded that. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, clerk, will you please call the poll?
Mr. Caton,
Nay.
Mr. Karn,
Nay.
Mr. Rhodes,
Aye.
Mr. Cernak,
Aye.
Commissioner Savis,
Aye.
Commissioner Helm,
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader,
Nay.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
He's got 3 kids. Sorry. And if they heard that, good. All right, he's a family guy. Kids
boy.
gotta
Nay.
get them through college.
Motion fails, Mr. Chair.
All right, and next, Gary.
Well, based on that, that means you need to approve option A or option B, or just take no action, which is the same of what you just did. So the motion was to make no change, which fails. So I'm inferring you do want to make a change, which should be option A or option B.
Could
So there should be a
we-
motion for that.
Could we make a different adjustment?
You can do whatever you'd like, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what my question was. Could we make an alternative option?
You may, yes.
I'll move that we make a 5% market adjustment for the treasurer.
I'll second that.
Okay, Mr. Cernak has moved to make a 5% market adjustment for the county treasurer. It's been seconded by Commissioner Schrader. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, we'll do a poll again, Mr.
Mr. Caton,
Aye.
Mr. Karn,
Aye.
Mr. Rhodes,
Aye.
Mr. Cernak,
Aye.
Commissioner Savis,
Aye.
Commissioner Helm,
Aye.
Commissioner Schrader,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Mr. Chair.
Aye.
Motion passes 9-0, Mr. Chair.
Now you finish the compensation board report.
It's hot in here.
So you're not done yet, though, Budget Committee. We're way over time. I apologize. Thank you to our compensation members, Nina and Jennifer, very much. If you could all hang out just a little bit longer, I have a quick update to prepare you for the Budget Committee week, and then we'll be done. So, Andrew, if you could please progress to this slide and the slide deck. All right, so Budget Committee members, you will next meet after this date on Tuesday, May 26, 2026. Later in the afternoon, time to be determined. We'll get you that as soon as possible. And you will receive the proposed budget that I will present to you for Clackamas County for fiscal year 26-27. I have finalized the proposed budget. It is with staff right now to prepare and compile the budget. It will be given to you on, Elizabeth, do you have a general date of when the budget books will go out?
Second week of May, I believe.
Okay. We'll confirm it around the second week of May, which is about 3 weeks from today, or this week. You'll get the proposed budget book. We're not here to discuss the proposed budget, but I want to prepare you for what you're going to get. So this is factors that impacted what I'm proposing to you. Again, you haven't seen anything yet. No commissioners have influenced me. This is my recommendation to you as the Budget Committee. You will now take it and do with it as you wish. A reminder, this slide shows how much of the county general fund, which is property taxes, which is discretionary funds, you get to decide where they go, is currently spent in the current fiscal year. This is approximately $170 million of general fund. This is exactly where it goes. You can see from this chart. The most is to the sheriff's office, followed by the district attorney's office. The courthouse is not a department, but that's counting for the annual payment. And then it goes down from there, what each department receives. You fund a lot of different services that the county public expects from you and their county government, but that's where it goes. So just a reminder, there's limited dollars. This is how you currently spend it. and you'll get to decide how you want to spend it next fiscal year. Next slide, please, Andrew. So here are the things that help me make my decisions on what I'm proposing to you. First is what you recommended as a budget committee 1 year ago, which has since resulted in an update to the county code. It is a new chapter 2.16, budget development. It requires me as your budget officer to present to you a 30-year financial forecast that must have a positive ending balance, which means in the black. Now, really, this was meant to be for the 30 years of the courthouse payment. We're already in year 28. 2 years have already gone by, believe it or not. But for now, year 28 to 30, in the black. I must also present to you a budget that is sustainable, balanced, and structurally sound, which means, especially structurally sound, ongoing programs are funded with ongoing revenues. It restricts the allocation of one-time revenues to one-time expenditures. So that's what my requirement you gave me, and I met that requirement, but it was painful. Finally, you all know this, property tax is the main source of county revenue, at least for the general fund programs you just saw, and that limits growth because the property tax, while it does increase every year, the expense increases are usually higher than what the property tax increase is. Next slide, please. So, there were no cuts to departments in my proposed budget. No cuts. However, any department that received general fund, I am proposing they receive a 3% increase. That was not enough for many departments. A 3% increase did not cover the increasing cost of personnel and materials and supplies. So I am framing it this way. You can disagree. I'm framing it, there's no cuts, but there are departments that can't live within that limit of an only 3% increase. That's how I'm messaging this. You may agree or not. So this really impacted the sheriff's office, no surprise. So once again, we're not here to talk about the proposed budget, but the sheriff could not live within the 3% increase because of the ongoing expenses of personnel and materials and supplies. So with that, you all have a choice to make. So this is your preview. You may choose to disagree with my recommendation of not fully giving the sheriff what she believes she needs to fund her office, in which case you'll have to take it from somewhere else. And here are the things you can consider. Just to foreshadowing to get you ready for a month from now, you can modify the forecast requirement and basically change the county code and move back to a 5-year forecast only, that we're in the black for 5 years. I'm not recommending that, but that's an option you can make. And then we're golden. We're actually golden for the next 15 years. It's after that that we start to go into red, as you will see when we present the budget to you. I purposely didn't do a forecast for you today because we're already 30 minutes over schedule and we'd be here all day. But you'll see that here in 3 weeks. You could revise the forecast assumptions to assume more risk. We're very conservative, financially conservative in the forecast. We can be a little more risky. They'll have further years in the black. You may allow one-time revenue to only be used each year if it is available. We currently don't do that. You could rethink what services the county provides to the public. And I've been suggesting that to you for quite a while, actually. Reduce duplication of services, positions, technology across the county. So in the particular case of the sheriff's office, you could reduce other departments to accommodate the funds that the sheriff needs. You could delay the reductions for 1 year, which is kicking the can, but there will still be a problem next year. So I don't expect you to have a 12-hour deliberation day, but you will have some very important decisions to make. So I just want to preamble this, to preview this. Watch, the whole mood of the room just went down. But this is to just appraise you. This is what's coming. We're not here to talk about specifics. You will see the proposed budget in approximately 3 weeks, and I look forward to having a robust discussion with you all. So please kind of noodle that, think about that, as you all come together here at the end of May, on May 26th. That is my presentation. I'm happy to answer any high-level questions you may have. Elizabeth, go ahead.
Just want to add, Gary, that the board budget packets will be out and delivered on Friday, May 8th.
There you go. That's the date you'll receive your packets, and it'll be posted online for the public to see, May 8th. So happy to answer any high-level questions you may have about what I just said.
All right. Commissioner Savas has a question.
So there's something kind of important kind of left out, Gary, and I know you didn't deliberately leave anything out, but I think it's something worth discussing and sharing for the Budget Committee members and the public that are watching, and that is that last year, and it's in the meeting summary, essentially, we now have been able to establish and prove that the levy was not accurately calculated, and therefore, and as with the city contracts and also the disparity in the way the internal costs were not calibrated into the sheriff's budget, whether it was ELED, the city contracts, or the levy, or even the general fund. And what we discovered is that the general fund has been subsidizing ELED, the city contracts, and the levy. And that rough number, I'm going to say rough, that rough number, just for the levy, and based on the sheriff's recommended millage rate for what's on the ballot, if that millage rate was in place today, it would generate 11.4 million additional dollars. So essentially, if the levy passes, there's all the, I believe, and with all the other adjustments everywhere else, there should be an ability to pay for all those things without making any changes, okay? So, and then next year and every year as the accelerator goes up on the property tax increase, that will be 12 million the year following, and then 13 as it goes up. So I'm thinking between everything that we do with the levy and the city contracts, there's $16 million, roughly 15 maybe dollars sitting out there that we would have additional without having to subsidize if the levy passes. If the levy does not pass, then we're going to be underwater with the sheriff's levy because there's no way of funding those positions, right? But we'll have an opportunity to put it back on the ballot in November at whatever we do. So you based, just a clarification, you based the budget on a static amount the levy's currently collecting. Is that correct?
That is correct,
Okay.
yes.
All right. The other thing that I wanted to say is that, and you touched on it, but I think the principle of the 30-year budget, which I strongly support, was to make sure that in the final years of the payments due, right, year 28 in this case, that we're in the black. And what I understood last time we saw the forecast, we had a couple 3 years in the latter years, the last 2 or 3 years of the levy, maybe not the levy, but the courthouse payments. There was a couple of years there where we were in the red, and then somehow we climbed out of it. I still haven't had an explanation. I'd like to get an explanation of that, but now I understand that there's more of those years in the red, which I have not seen, which I don't understand. So I need to get to the bottom of that. I want to get to the bottom. I'm not comfortable with that. So my question to you, Gary, is this 4.9 million, how did you compensate for that in your proposed budget?
Yes, so Elizabeth, I'm going to ask for your assist here, how we did that. I believe it came from beginning fund balance, and then we spread it out over multiple years, but would you please share how we accommodated for that?
That's exactly it, Gary. We moved funds from contingency, and then we've just made allowances for that over the course of the next 30 years in the forecast.
So then essentially that's why we have more years in the red, because we are trying to bake this in.
Correct.
Correct, yes.
Okay, and I'm not okay with that either. I'm just going to get that on the record. And I'm hoping that we come back with a budget that it'll be after the levy, after May 19th, we'll know whether the levy passed or not, and it'll be in a completely different position is what I'm trying to say here. But if we need to refine the ordinance or the understanding of how to interpret the ordinance, then we shall. But I don't think I want to just have situations like this where we end up 4.9 million. And again, 4 million of that was an additional ask of the sheriff's office, right? And I also would like to get a total of the last 5 or 10 years of just trying to calculate backwards. If the levy's been off for this long, 5 years is probably the best, how much money we've actually subsidized with all the new calculations, whether it's the city contracts, ELED, and the levy. If that subsidy or that under collection was, let's say, I'm just going to take a stab at it, let's just say it's $40 million. I think that $40 million coulda, woulda, paid for this 4 million. So I want to work back and see if there's a way of trying to get if the levy passes, we got to support that. It's really important. I want to be publicly on the record of supporting the levy. We'll be in a position to pay this back, or CCSO will be in a position to pay this back, because we have been subsidizing the levy.
Right, we'll get that for you. Mr. Rhodes has his card raised.
Mr. Rhodes, sorry.
Gary, you made mention that because of your across-the-board 3% general fund increase left some departments short, and you mentioned the sheriff's office. Can you tell me what other departments are short?
Yes, the district attorney's office, the assessor's office, and health, housing, and human services. Those offices have chose to adjust and find a path to tighten their belts as tight as possible. And in some cases, I gave a little bit of proposed extra general fund to accommodate, as I did for the sheriff's office. But it was not just the sheriff's office.
Thank you. And you listed you went through a quick list of some potential solutions for us to consider. Are you going to detail those and maybe some more specificity to us? And would that come in our budget packets that we're going to receive, or some other fashion?
I will go into great detail during the budget week in May, and I'm always happy to talk to any of you individually, which I'm allowed to do, which we could do prior to that if you'd like. But I will present that to you at the budget committee meetings.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner West has a comment.
It's wild to me that on that graph, $117 million is all law enforcement or some intersection with it. I look at the sheriff's office and the district attorney's office and the courthouse is all intersecting with safe communities, law enforcement, justice. Those all intersect together. That's about $117 million. I got elected I think one of my first tasks as a brand new commissioner was at a groundbreaking for the courthouse right over here. I had nothing really to do with it except to show up to the groundbreaking, and then as it was built out. But that $15 million is a serious pressure. It just is. Like, I know that people try to spin it one way or another. I can't see it any other way, that is a serious pressure that we took on. And we're going to have to try to deal with that now today. The roosters, what is it? The chickens have come home to roost. Is that right? I think we're feeling that a little bit now, and that just is what it is. Other commissioners and previous commissioners made that decision, and here we are today with these real pressures. But I know that this board is very committed to finding a path to make sure that our needs around law enforcement are fully funded. I mean, we look at how the budget committee board is made. I don't think you could have a more pro-law enforcement budget committee than this one here in the region. And for the service of some of our members within that field of work for so many decades and years. So I kind of at this point where I want to look at like the sheriff's budget and I want to line item it. I want to see everything. I want to hopefully not have to have another 16, 12-hour marathon meeting like we did last year to try to get ahead of this. But we spend a lot of money on every single aspect of law enforcement, and that's apparent here by this graph. I agree with much of what Commissioner Savas just said and presented. I mean, I'm curious about how much the general fund has been inappropriately subsidizing or necessarily subsidizing the levy. And that has been a strain on all these other departments. I look at this graph, I don't know where else we're really gonna cut. I mean, I don't see a lot. I mean, it's just not there. I mean, those are real small bars. Once you get past the top three, those are really small amounts in comparison. So, you know, we're going to cut disaster management. Well, we almost had the Armageddon fire not that long ago, and the heat dome and other things. I don't know. There's no money to cut there. We probably need more money there. Look at facilities just to maintain the properties we have. That's not a lot. Yeah, Health and Human Services, I mean, that's how we prevent a lot of people from getting into the justice system and making sure they're taken care of. How much you're going to cut the prevention side. So I don't know. I'm interested in talking about line item budgeting, and I think it is critical that everybody here is supporting the levy. moving forward, that we get that right, and that will relieve a lot of pressure. So those are my thoughts, Chair.
Thank you. All right. Did I turn your light off or not?
No, mine's back on.
Oh.
So appreciate the comments. I want to just add, first of all, I want to thank the sheriff, commend the sheriff in this case for making some changes internally, and two of the people that have been key in straightening out some of the financials within the CCSO are here in the room today. So Under Sheriff Eby and Patrick Williams done significant, great work in getting some of those internal costs calculated into all these different operations. So I know that they're still working on that, and they made a tremendous amount of progress. I just want to thank them for their great work. And I think has given us a better understanding of why we've been having different opinions, because we didn't really understand the numbers. Our viewpoints have been different. We've been trying to figure out why we're having these pressures. And I'm not saying that everything's going to be perfect, but I'm still waiting to see what that budget looks like, and again, the levy passing and how things will be out there. I do agree. I think that with Commissioner West, I think that we ought to line item the budget to make sure that the positions that we feel are most important, or if not all the positions, are line item, whether it's by category or worst case individually. But we have really worked hard over the years. I've been here for 15 years, and we've worked hard, even when Sheriff Roberts was the sheriff, saying we want those positions filled. We want them filled. We want them filled. And I know it's always just attrition, so there's always a challenge. It's not that, it's easy as snapping the fingers and you can have filled positions. And so I think that's one thing I want to make sure that we make it very clear that people can't go out there and say we're not funding our staff at CCSO. Or something like that. It's as I checked in again with Gary this morning, and Gary's response was, are we fully funding the positions in CCSO? And your answer was?
For the current fiscal year, well, yes.
Okay.
I forgot your question, Commissioner.
Yeah, well, that was your answer this morning. So, and my last comment is, as we talk about public safety, and I think we automatically we jump to the CCSO, the sheriff's office, naturally, but I do want to point out the DA's office, and I want to point out all those ancillary operations that are part of the criminal justice system. Arresting people and just keeping them in the jail is not criminal justice unless we can't prosecute those who need to be prosecuted. We got to realize that there's a cost to that, and the DA's office has been running on a shoestring for a long time. And I'm hoping that maybe, again, if we're in a better position and we can see the budget and the forecast and the levy passes, I think we might be in a position to look at making some adjustments that help out the district attorney's office budget. So, Chair, that's what I have.
All right. Mr. Karn.
This be a question for Gary. Commissioner Savas brought up a very good point that I think if it's best discussed when we meet, referencing that if indeed we are not collecting enough money through the levy, right, and other revenues, that's a big deal, right? And is there a mechanism to easily fix that? And if that's the best discussion for our next time we meet, then just say so.
That's best for when you next meet, and we're way out of time here too.
Right. Something real quick, Cindy.
I just wanted to, I have more to say, but I'm not going to. But the one thing I do want to say is there is another year of the current levy, which will be part of next year's budget. So the new
I'm sorry, Cindy, could you tilt the microphone towards you?
Oh, sorry. There is another year of the current levy, so which is part of next year's budget. The new levy won't start if it passes until the following year. So I just want to make sure that folks are clear about that.
All right.
All right, so thank you for the extra time today. There's a lot for you to think about and talk about a month from now. We'll brief you to talk to you prior to that. You'll get your budget book on May 8th. But thank you all for being here today and for your patience. Back to you, Chair.
All All right. I know we have to move on. I just want to kind of go back and make a quick comment because we've gone way over on this topic. But I think and this isn't kind of a time to really get into the debate of the budget. We're going to get in that later. And I can't agree with this, that and Mr. Rose knows this, the ELED hasn't kept pace. We would come before the board and we would tell you, look, there's not enough money there. There's these vacancies. Do you want to fill them, yes or no? And kind of that decision was made. I think on the levy itself, I can just say there's a lot of time spent with county finance and everybody trying to figure out that cost model. Now, has it tweaked and refined? Absolutely. I think that just like in anything else, what impacts it is electricity, right? Look at your own electricity bill and trying to project that. Look at the fuel bill right now, right? It's over $1 million in fuel for the sheriff's office, and some of these things, medical expenses. The medical contract at the jail, I know, is a massive contract. Food services. You see food going up at home, guess what? Food's going up at the jail too. And so each one of these, you do your very best kind of projecting some of those, but sometimes you can be off. And I think, and then on top of it, which really kind of compounds the thing, and I think this lessons learned for the future is if we negotiate a contract, the POA, right, then that has to kind of be calculated in, because that came in after we had gone to the voters, right? And so those costs went up, and then suddenly you're at the shortfall. We're going to have more discussion about this. I think everybody's right in their own way, and I think just trying to come together with you as a budget committee, help us all better understand it more, and do the best we can to move forward. So I appreciate all of you participating in this. You guys all bring a wealth. So with that, Gary, I'm going to move on, and what do we have to wrap it up?
Would you like to take a short break before the next, you have 2 more policy sessions, commissioners.
Let's take a short 5-minute break. How's that?